All right,
I
so
think we
I'm gonna mute myself, but I'm here.
okay, and we have. It looks like we do have a quorum. Um, so in attendance, we call the meeting to order at 3:04. We have myself. I'm just going in order that I see. Reverend Clark. We have Alex, Daisy, and Mr. Min. Um, if I'm missing anybody, but I think that's it. And then I'll call for public participation if we have any, but I don't see any. And seeing none, I'll turn it over to you, Sabrina.
Great. Hi everyone. Because we skipped the last meeting, I was going through my notes and I realized that it may just be like a lot of me talking. So I just did a quick like 6 slide PowerPoint so you guys can just see like the highlights of things so you don't kind of get drowned out by the sound of my voice this entire time. So I'm going to share that now. Sorry, I created this 5 seconds before we started. So hopefully you guys can see all of this. So since our last meeting on June 16th, the Fair Housing Office has been very, very active. So I'm just going to go through some of our recent case summaries, housing developments, immigration housing issues, some policy updates, social media, and then we'll close up the meeting. So since June, we've received a total of 36 housing related contacts. 26 of them involve potential for housing issues. 10 were more like general landlord tenant concerns. And those were referred to the Fair Rent Commission here, legal aid, or like Connecticut Fair Housing. Out of the 26 fair housing matters that we've got, 15 cases were connected to disability discrimination and reasonable accommodations. 4 cases were related to source of income discrimination, mostly like landlords refusing to rent once they learned that a tenant had Section 8. 4 cases were involved around retaliation. So things like landlords raising rent and threatening eviction after a tenant had already spoken to me and tried to file a complaint. And then 3 cases involved other forms of discriminatory treatment, including race, national origin, or steering. So far, we've confirmed 8 clear fair housing violations, and these have specifically been the denial of reasonable accommodation for service and support animals. That's been a really big one this summer. Failure to provide accessible housing for tenants with disabilities, retaliation after complaints, and refusal to rent based off of voucher use. We've already advanced these cases specifically to their prospective agencies, so HUD, CHRO, and legal aid where necessary. So that brings us to what our office has been doing. So in terms of actions, like I said before, we have helped tenant file complaints, provided templates for reasonable accommodation requests, and referred non-fair housing matters to the right agencies. I think that our best course of action for this is going to be the continued landlord education, specifically around vouchers and disability reasonable accommodation rights. So we are always tracking that, and I am continuously tracking to see if any pattern emerges specific to property management, landlord, housing, like housing authority, things like that. So moving on to potential outreach and partnerships. Since our last meeting, I've also been focused on building outreach and partnership opportunities. This Thursday, I'm going to meet with Nicholas Cantor. He's the program director for Desegregate Connecticut. And he's really interested in talking to us about how our organizations can possibly work together to push for more fair and equitable housing policy. So I think that's an interesting conversation for Norwalk to be a part of, and specifically this office to be a part of. Once that meeting is had, I'm hoping to be able to fill you guys in on how that goes. Oh, go ahead, sorry. I thought somebody had a question. So I've also scheduled a fair housing training with the Norwalk Fair Housing Authority staff for September 25th. They requested that that's going to be via Zoom. So I've been working on that presentation coming up, which will be a lot more elevated than what you guys are seeing. Actually, oh, there we go. So in 79 South Main Street has been really interesting. So it's going to be Sound Communities planning a 7 stories, 68 unit building for low income seniors. From a fair housing perspective, this is interesting because the project will expand housing options for seniors who are protected classes, and it includes relocation assistance, which is really important to prevent displacement of people who are currently living in these areas. What we see a photo here is of the new construction that is underway called Meadows Gardens. This construction is a $47 million redevelopment. This will replace 54 outdated units with 59 affordable apartments, including 7 ADA accessible units. Tenants will also have the right to return to these units. This project is a great example of how affordable housing can align with fair housing principles. Jalen and I were actually lucky enough to go to the groundbreaking of that. Jalen spoke with his connections tying back to the property. It was a really interesting and fun event today. Okay. Then we have the pressing issue about that's been really targeting Norwalk recently. We're seeing this a lot. Immigration and housing, I really wanted to speak about in particular. So recently, ICE agents have entered the Norwalk Police Department parking lot twice without coordination. Both times they were asked to leave. And as you guys have already seen, city leaders have made it very clear that this type of action does not reflect the Norwalk values that we have. While immigration itself is not a protected class under the Fair Housing Act, discrimination based on race and national origin is illegal based off of the Fair Housing Act. So I am going to try to track as best as I can if we do have any dip in phone calls, because these types of actions have a really bad chilling effect and discouraging people from different immigration statuses to contact me if they are feeling unsafe or if they're feeling like they're being violated from fair housing. Anytime I'm able to speak with people from various communities, I let them know that I personally and this office does not track immigration status as part of our work here. So it's not something that we need, and that's something that I need to start pushing the word out even further so that they understand that we can assist them without harm or fear.
Sabrina, just on that point real quick. Hey guys, this is Alex. If you do come across anybody who needs some assistance at Family and Children's Agency, I run a program called Latino Outreach, and it is a Demas funded grant that assists anybody under the age of anybody over the age of 18 who have who are, Latino, Latinx, Hispanic individuals with just a fast-paced kind of like soft touch, they're calling it, case management. So helping these individuals or families gain access to SNAP benefits, to anything they may not feel comfortable going out and doing on their own. I have a case manager that you can come to my office and we can meet with you there, that she can go to your house and meet with you there. We can go to the library. So if you do see people who need resources but are afraid, please call me and I'll have her go out.
That's amazing, Dawn.
All right. And I'll email over like my flyer and we can go from
Perfect.
there.
Yeah.
All right.
Email over your flyer. I'll put that on our Instagram site as well as I know some families who have contacted who may be able to use that information. So I'll definitely email that to them as well.
You got it.
Is it just Hispanic or anyone can
Nope.
come?
This program is just for Hispanic individuals.
So a person Haitian that may need that same service won't be able to get that service.
No, they have to find a different program. This program is granted just for individuals. The state of Connecticut was doing some research and they were finding that they were understanding that many Hispanic individuals, male and female over the age of 18, were possibly having substance misuse or abuse, and it wasn't being tracked correctly. And they felt like there was a stigma, and people weren't gaining the help that they needed and just needed a little help finding those resources. So they put this program in place for a Hispanic case manager to go out into Region 1, which is Bridgeport through Greenwich, to assist these families in getting the services that they need without feeling stigmatized.
This is Brenda. I
Yeah.
would not recommend anybody for that program because for me, that's discriminating. And like Daisy said, I mean, the Haitians are going through this similar process, and I have an issue with that. I have an issue, and I would not recommend anybody for a discriminating program. I will not.
There are other programs in the Norwalk area that help everybody, multiple people. This is just a DEMIS funded program with
It
everything.
does not matter. They should not. It doesn't matter. The Haitian people are going through the same exact thing. Okay. And for me, I'm telling you now, I would not recommend anyone for that program. And DEMIS should be ashamed of themselves for doing something like that.
You wouldn't recommend?
Nobody. If it's for all folks, yes, but not just for Hispanics. Absolutely not.
Interesting. Okay. Thanks for sharing your opinion.
And that's discrimination. And for me, as the president of the NAACP, I'm not going to be discriminating against other folks. I'm not doing that. So therefore, I will not recommend anybody for that program. No, I will not. And that's why, and I'm glad, because Daisy asked the question. I was going to ask the same question, but she already asked it. You answered the question. And that's shameful. That's shameful. It really is. That's shameful.
If I can find any information on programs that assist other communities, I'd be open to sharing them.
The point is that they have just said, we're doing this for Hispanic people. That is a problem for me. That same program should be used for anybody that needs any type of help, no matter what color you are. And DEMIS should be ashamed of themselves. Even the state of Connecticut, if they are funding this program.
Yeah, they are.
Duly noted.
Thank you for sharing like, the resource, and thank everybody for the discussion. It's important to see all different sides of arguments, and sometimes we're not going to agree, and
Right.
we're going to see it in different ways. So this is a good forum for discussion as well. And I'm just going to bring the conversation back to the housing office and what we can do for this fight. I just, to be very transparent, for the social medias for our specific Instagram, if I am not sharing anything that doesn't directly tie back to housing, in the sense of there's been so much great work this weekend. Jalen's been doing great. I've seen so many of your faces actually out there doing amazing things. And I am picking and choosing what I am posting. So for example, on this slide that I have here, I took a bunch of information that you all had kind of been contributing out there in the public and just headed back specifically back to housing. And that's been my way to have this office contribute on the where it lives social media wise and flyers and how we can distribute that information as well. I'm willing to distribute information that any of you guys bring to me. So please continue sharing.
And then
But
to
here's
that,
the thing for me. We should not be supporting one class of folks. We should support all classes. Okay? And that's not right. That's just not right.
I know, like with these, with this, like the stuff that, like, and I know it was Sabrina, the stuff that she's sharing, it is like tailored towards everybody. Like even with this immigration, I know she had it translated in Spanish, Creole, and even some different languages. So I know, like with this, like the stuff that we put out, like I know around Juneteenth, it was like there, and it kind of depends on like what's going on. I was gonna highlight kind of with this with the immigration just because of what's going on now. Like Sabrina was really on top of it and putting
Yeah.
this stuff out, so that it's really responding to what's going on. And I think that's why we've been seeing an uptick in the way that we get the complaints is because she's really like put a post on it, has her hand on the post that's going on in the city, and it's really like putting stuff out. And I don't really see, at least with this, I know the issue with the program with Venus and everybody, but I know like with the fair housing, it has really been tailored towards everybody,
Yeah.
not just like one group of people.
Yeah, Sabrina, the social media has been on point. It is colorful, it is clear. It's really nice to read. So thank you. It's been huge.
No problem. Thank you guys for saying that.
Yeah.
And I, this week I've kind of made it more of my point to do more multilingual posts. So like Jalen kind of said, our most recent post is currently in English, Spanish, French, Haitian Creole, and Portuguese. If you guys see in your day-to-day activities that more languages needs to expand it, please let me know. I don't know everything, and I kind of depend on what I'm hearing from people to kind of dictate how I represent online as well. So if you guys find that more languages are needed, please share that with me, and I will make it my business to get that done.
Okay.
I am going to move on to actually another hot topic, which was a policy that was currently vetoed. So on the policy side of fair housing in Connecticut, I did want to mention the veto of HB 5002, also known as the Towns Take the Lead Housing Bill. This legislation in specific would have required towns across Connecticut to plan for and meet what is considered fair share housing goals and expand fair rent commissions. For Norwalk, the bill carried particular weight as one of the few municipalities in Fairfield County that already provides a significant share of affordable housing passage. The passage of this would have helped spread responsibility more evenly across all towns. It could have reduced the concentration of affordable housing in Norwalk, basically encouraging regional investment and alleviated some of the financial costs and strains of the city in particular, and make it a statewide cost. Governor Lamont decided to
So yeah,
veto.
we just probably put both signatures up there. And then we can send a DocuSign to more than one person. Now, I don't.
So Governor Lamont did decide to veto the bill for now. So the status quo of what we're used to does remain. Cities like Norwalk, Stamford, Bridgeport, New Haven continue to shoulder most of the responsibility for affordable housing, while wealthier towns face fewer obligations to diversify their housing stock. In practice, this keeps disparities in place. So Norwalk will continue to grapple with housing demands and raising rents and pressure on the city services themselves without broader regional accountability and help. So groups like Desegregate Connecticut, which I am meeting with on Thursday, are expected to push for a revision in this bill, and in the next legislative session, it will come up. So I will keep a pulse on that and keep everyone in the loop regarding that bill as well.
What else can we do as a commission to help stand against for this bill?
Yeah, so right now, because it was vetoed, there's not much we can do at the moment. However, I'm hoping that in my meeting on Thursday, I can dive deeper into that conversation with other agencies like Desegregate Connecticut and get some concrete action that we actually as a commission can do. So I'm hoping to have an update with that at our next meeting, because that's kind of the response I was hoping for. So I really want this office to be a part of the next legislative session. So we just have to collaborate with other agencies and see how we can support that, because it is, outside of it being a cost issue, it is a right, right? So fair housing is a right, and we should be pushing those type of policy changes moving forward. So the minute I find that out, Daisy, I will 100% let everyone on the commission know.
Okay.
I just wanted to give like a brief overview so you guys know this is going on.
We need a Wi-Fi?
And I'm going to be closing up here shortly. I'm just going to touch briefly on something that we kind of already talked about. So I also just wanted to highlight our social media outreach, because it has been a real success. Our Instagram, we reached 264 accounts in the last 30 days, and nearly 90% of that engagement came through our stories that we're posting. And we now have 149 followers. Importantly, most of the new calls that I've been receiving have actually been saying that they found us through our Instagram and that they realized that they were being discriminated against because of the stories that I was posting.
Wow, that's so awesome.
Yeah, it's
you.
really good to hear.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it's been really good to hear. So, about a third of our followers work in the community in different social services, as well as in government and nonprofit, higher ed, healthcare, and real estate. So those are all kind of the social services that we always want to touch and keep in contact with, which is really important.
Mhm.
And we also launched our LinkedIn page, which already has 75 followers, which for a company or organization is a really high follower count. Most people do not go on LinkedIn to follow other organizations. So that's been interesting too. These platforms are helping us reach tenants and also gain a visibility. And actually, Desegregate Connecticut reached out to me because of our social media presence. They said that that was something that really caught their attention, and I think it's going to help us with outreaching to policymakers and other housing advocates as well, which is the real reason I'm doing it, not just for the followers. I'm doing it so that we can gain some stance in this realm for the policymakers and housing advocates as well.
Sabrina, you haven't had anybody like direct, like DM you from the like social media page asking questions, have you?
On the social media page, no.
Okay.
Don't. And I think part of that is because I try on most of them to put our phone number and email on there. But I do have alerts set up. So if somebody did reach out that way, I would get it immediately.
so great.
Yeah. So just to wrap it all up, since
And
June,
the one point, like just with the social media too, is that I see like sometimes when we put up a post, like I actually see it on either the city's stories or like other people's stories. So like the big thing that the followers, like a lot of this stuff is just being shared. So even though we have like say the 175, it's being shared to way more because people are sharing it to their stories. And anybody who can do that, I think that that's important too, because it really just helps spread the message a lot farther. And like I said, everything's kind of been like right on point. So like this morning, there's like the immigration, because that's like the big thing that's going on in the city right now. And it just making it relevant, just questions that people have. So it's doing a really good job with that.
and like it does show, though our follower count is around that 175, I believe I just said. Yeah, 149, sorry, 149 on Instagram. Our posts get at least 300 views. probably within 24 hours of us posting it. So it is being shared and it is being viewed. And that's really the goal, right? I would love it if they followed us and saw everything. I have been going back and forth with creating more reels and less topic covered posts. I really want our social media, in my opinion, to stand through the office and not have like my face attached to it in particular. So I may change up some of the posts coming out just to introduce me as a fair housing officer. I'm still grappling with that because I do want it just to be issue based. But I think also so that people can recognize me and know that if they see me around Norwalk, this is what I'm doing, this is who I am. I might make one post like that. So you guys-
Azibert, I agree with that 100%. I mean, you're going to these events, you're going to these, city chats and things like that. If people see your face, I think they may, then go up and talk to you. Hey, that's Sabrina, the Fair Housing Office. So no, I feel like it's such an awkward thing to do, right? Like you're gonna post a picture of yourself and probably like some information, but just know that it's getting out there and it's for a good, purpose.
Yeah, no,
Yep,
it's very
agree.
awkward. I do appreciate that. So just to wrap up, we've been really busy addressing a wide range of fair housing complaints, including those 8 violations. But ultimately, we're supporting the tenants and advancing cases, expanding our outreach, and preparing for September training with the Housing Authority. Norwalk's housing developments are moving forward, which is super encouraging. But challenges still remain, just as the visual of the HB 5002 bill. On the positive side, our growing partnerships and strong social media presence, like we talked about, are helping and strengthen our fair housing protections in the community. And that's what I have for the report today. Do you guys have any questions on it? Stop sharing.
I have a question. One, I wanted to say that Jalen did a good job when he spoke at Meadows Gardens. I did read what he about that event, and I did get to hear because of his posting what was being said, and I thought it was good. So, and I'm glad to see the president out there doing what he's doing, as well as yourself. And then as far as the training, what happened with the movie, the small town city, the big city, the thing with Norwalk? What happened with that? Are we gonna do anything with that?
Survival of a Small City, it
Yeah.
had to postpone it because of the RCPs I was getting back really didn't match the demand and the effort that it would take away from me doing all of these cases at the moment. When I was reaching out to people, they said September would be a better time. I'm now just waiting. It's kind of pushed the process all over again, right? So I have to reserve the room, make sure the room I can get in time. So I don't have an update right now on a solidified date because I haven't received the go-ahead for the dates that I have requested the room for yet. We are still working on it, and that is something that we will move forward with once I do have the solidified date, and hopefully the RSVPs will match at that point. I am noticing something that I didn't anticipate coming into this position. The amount of work it takes me to kind of go through everybody's emails and text and things that they're sending me as proof for their complaints, and kind of working hand on hand with tenants and then creating these events. I kind of realized that my first priority has to be the community, and then the events will obviously also be a priority, but I have to make sure that the outcome really matches the work that goes into it as well. So I just thought it would be best to postpone and change the date.
Sabrina, I really want to commend you for the work you are doing on our behalf for our beloved city of Norwalk. Our social media presence speaks volumes, and your ability to be on top of things happening in and around Norwalk. And certainly want to commend you and also our chairman, Jaden, for also doing what he is to do on our behalf. Thank you so much.
Thank you. No, I honestly couldn't do it without you guys. I feel like I kind of am able to touch base with each and every one of you for the most part at different times, and you guys keep feeding me the direction of where Norwalk needs to be headed and going and what you guys are seeing on the ground there as well. So it really is a team effort. I just get to sit here and kind of take in all the ideas and push them out, but it's a reflection of this commission truly. So I do appreciate that. And Jalen did do amazing as well. I've been seeing him out in the community, and it's great to have that the commission represented in that way as well.
Hi, may I share again? Okay, well, I also wanted to know, because our previous director, she had said that she had felt that she needed more help in the office. Do you find that you may need extra help, or extra hand, and maybe how you could get that help?
It is something that I have been thinking about a lot more lately. This position, there's so many moving parts to it at all times, and there are some administrative tasks that kind of just take up a lot of time, honestly, that could be done by someone else. I don't have a solid solution for it. I have some thoughts, you know, we do have some colleges around that would be great if we can get some work study kids in here and maybe be able to take care of some administrative tasks. It's a little difficult because there is so much confidential information that I don't know if I would necessarily entrust with a college student who's just kind of going by just yet. But I have started creating a list of tasks that I think would be good for a student if I could possibly get some type of collaboration with a local university.
But that was one of the things that was mentioned as far as help, reaching out for, you know, a college student that may be in that field and could help.
Yeah, no, I do have like a running list that I keep on the side of things that could potentially free up some time if somebody else did it. I was kind of waiting for my like 6-month mark to kind of get a little bit more data behind it to see how much time I'm truly spending on certain things and see if it would be beneficial or not.
I think
As of now, I do think it would be.
Sabrina, we can talk about this, and you know, as a commission, we can talk about it as well. If you thought maybe some kind of intern would be beneficial, it would take a lot of work because I feel like having an intern is actually more work than actually doing the work. I have interns for my supportive housing department at FCA, and I feel like they're just a full-time job, and their paperwork for them for school. If we're at a year mark and you know what would be beneficial for an intern, like a social work intern, somebody who's going into policy, and we could maybe figure out something, I can supervise them for you, because they would need like clinical supervision time. But if it's something that you think would benefit the commission and us getting even more out there than we are maybe a year from now, we can definitely probably talk about it all as a group.
No, that would be an amazing conversation. And I do foresee us needing that, but I think to your point, Alice, as well, it's just, I'm still taking notes on what that structure would look like, what they would do, what those tasks would consider, what time requirements that would be. I know that there's still so much that kind of comes along with that alone. But I am building a little bit of a case here. So I think a year mark would be a good time to have like a very concrete discussion where I would be able to bring the structure to the conversation and we could figure out how to move forward, that'd be great.
Yeah. Even, I mean, we even have like social media interns and people who do marketing and things that could benefit. Doesn't always have to, like, you can do the policy stuff and things like that. But like I think there is a wide, it just, you have to be willing to put in the work too as like a supervisor. But it's definitely, we can look into, I think it would just honestly benefit us. Like, you are doing so much as one person. Imagine if we had two. Like, so
I think about that all the time. I'm like, I wish there were just like one more person here.
or half a person, but they're half the time.
Right. It would just, we would be able to get like double the work done sometimes.
So definitely look at something like that. I mean, it's doable. The city of Norwalk has tons of interns. You know, we can do maybe some partnership with FCA, but it definitely would be doable.
Oh, I'm really glad that you both brought that up because that's 100% something that was on my mind that I wasn't going to bring up quite yet. But yes, that is exactly the train of thought I wanted.
Good thinking, Daisy. Good way to remember that.
And then I actually realized I jumped on the agenda. We have to approve the minutes.
Oh, yes.
So I don't know if everybody had a moment, but we'll take
No,
a
but I'll
motion
make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I second the motion.
All right, any discussions, corrections? All right, hearing none, all in favor?
Bye.
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know, Zabrini had anything else? Or anybody had anything else? So I'll before we take the motion to adjourn, it is like troubling times now that, I know this is a diverse body, but there is a lot of things going on in the city and the nation. I just urge everybody to just do what you can. Just be active, always helping people. I mean, this body of people, everybody is already doing a lot of things, but we just got to be there for one another and stand up for what's right. And that's kind of what this commission has been doing. And I just urge everybody to do that and do what you can to make sure that we're fighting for everybody, like Ms. Brenda had brought up. And at that, just continue to go work. We'll see each other in a month. They'll definitely talk soon. And I'll take that one last motion.
I so move that we close this meeting.
You have a second?
Perfect. And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thanks everybody. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Review.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful
Really good one.
Thank you.